Well, some people may believe that women have the same opportunities as men and that women and men are now on an even playing field in society. The unfortunate reality is that we still have a ways to go. Women, especially single mothers and women heads of households, still face an uphill battle that we'll be talking about during this episode. And that's where Soroptimist International comes in. Soroptimist is a global organization, and it provides women and girls with access to the education and training they need to achieve economic empowerment. Their vision is that women and girls would have access to the resources and opportunities to reach their full potential and live their dreams. So, today I'm talking to Jackie, Lane and Debby Liew from Soroptimist International of Chehalem Valley to talk about how they are working to achieve this. Hi, I'm Daniel Roberts, a local realtor in Newburgh and a member of several organizations in Newburgh where I get to interact with some really amazing people here in town and share their stories on this podcast. I also have the Living in Newburgh YouTube channel, which is all about what it's like living in Newburgh. So if you like these podcasts, you'll probably enjoy that channel as well because it dives into all the different aspects of living in Newburgh. I love this town. I love helping people move here and learn about our amazing community. I do this podcast because I also really love sharing stories about all the great organizations and people who make this town the great place that it is, which is what this podcast is all about. To share stories of hope and generosity in Newburgh and the surrounding area that help people to be inspired, get involved, and ultimately have hope for our future. So I hope you enjoyed today's conversation with Jackie and Debby as we talk about empowering women and girls to live their dreams. All right, well, Deb and Jackie, thank you so much for joining me today. Look forward to sharing about Soroptimist, or I guess more accurately, letting you share about Soroptimist and learning alongside the rest of our community about what you guys do here. So yeah, thanks for joining. It's fun to.
Oh, you're welcome, Daniel. Glad to be here. Yeah, very, very glad to be here.
You know, I mentioned it's always fun to have two people instead of one, and there's twice as much to share. So you guys can kind of figure out between the two of you who's going to share what, and I'll go ahead and get started just asking questions. But a lot of people probably have heard of Soroptimist, or if they've been in Newburgh for a while, they've at least heard the name, but maybe don't have a good understanding of what it is. So could you share what Soroptimist is basically in a nutshell?
Sure. Well, Soroptimist is a global volunteer organization that provides women and girls with access to education and training that need to achieve economic empowerment. And Soroptimist was formed in 1921 in Oakland, California, at a time where women were not allowed or permitted to join service organizations. And our name, Soroptimist, loosely in Latin, means best for women. So that's how that came about. And today we have over 25,000 members and supporters in countries across the North America, Latin America, and Pacific Rim. We are one of 5 federations that make up Soroptimist International, which has clubs in more than 120 countries throughout the world. Well, that's just a little bit about Soroptimist in general and what we do, being a global organization. Jackie's going to give you a little more information on how we chartered here in Newburgh in 2009. So I'll let Jackie talk a little bit about that.
Thanks, Deb. Yes, Newburgh Graphic had a write-up, and it was an invitation to come to a meeting that they wanted to start a club in Newburgh. And at that point, my daughter was a junior in college, she was a senior in college and knew she'd be moving to Newburgh. We lived in West Lynn. And so I cut the article out for her visit and said, here, you can get to know people in Newburgh when you arrive. If you join Soroptimist, they're looking for members. So off she went to the meeting and came back and said, oh, Mom, you'd love it. It's all about women and girls and helping women and girls. And she had just received a financial award from Oregon State called the Busy Beaver. And she had done tons of community service while she was on campus. And so they gave her $2,000 for her effort. So she had this in her blood that she wanted to help. And she had gone to college thinking she would go into counseling, but came away feeling like business and the family business is what she wanted to do. So in order to start a club, we had to have 20 people. And so there we were. We had 20 people, and McVinville had sent members from their club to solicit in Newburgh and encourage. And so they were kind of our mother club, so to speak, as far as sponsoring us and sending members to be in on our meetings and get us going. So we chartered, and we've been going ever since. So,
yeah. So, I mean, and I appreciate the essentially the formal description of what Soroptimist is, but I'm curious for each of you individually. What does it mean for both of you? Obviously, you've been in it, and you're one of the founding members, Jackie. Okay, then you, Deb, have been in it
10 years this
10
year.
years.
Yeah.
So you've been in it for a while, and obviously it's come to mean something that's important enough for you to stick with it. So what, for you both, what do you feel like keeps you going? Or not keeps you going, but like...
It's an investment. Well, I think it's the platform. It's women helping women and girls. And as you understand a little bit about being a global organization, women have not had equal rights over the years. And to me, starting in a small town, educating girls, and we can talk a little bit more about what we do, but that's what drives me, is that every little girl in this town needs to know that they can go to college, they can be whoever they want to be, and that there's mentors out there, Soroptimists there's Soroptimists out there in the community that want to help every little girl or woman that wants to better their situation. And that's what drives me. And knowing that it's going on globally, not just Newburgh, but in Japan and in Philippines, and Ireland, and all these places, they're doing the same programs that we do. And we can go over that a little more down the road. But that's what keeps me going with this. It's because I know I'm helping women and girls that might need help.
I had a little different slant. I was, on the downhill side of my career, in the seal industry, which is a male-dominated field for the most part. So if you saw a woman customer come in the door, you were like, "Oh, I'm going to go to her." But I grew up in a family with all girls, and my poor dad had a male business, So I was always encouraged. And so I understood how important that was to, he didn't say to me, "Jackie, I need someone to follow in my footsteps." Instead, he said, "Well, let's go to Oregon State and you can be a pharmacist." And I went, "Oh." But still the encouragement was there, And so I understood that. But what has kept me motivated to be a member was seeing all of the support that Soroptimist International of the Americas gives me as a club member. Mm-hmm. And at the nearest level is we have an annual meeting that's called an area meeting, and that's for clubs in our area. So it includes McVinville and Albany. Then the next level is district meetings. And the higher up the meetings you go, the better the keynote speakers are. And they're very motivational, and you can use that information to improve your club meetings, or you can use it to improve yourself. And so I was always appreciative of those keynote speakers, or women from other clubs in other areas that came to share their expertise, and just found a lot of value in that. So,
and I think there's a lot of people who might hear the mission or the purpose of Soroptimist and say, "Well, sure, yeah, in years past, maybe there's been discrimination against women, but today we're surely better." And obviously that's not true, but can you, from your experience, share some of the ways that there's still a lot of work to be done?
Well, for me, it just became even more apparent this past month watching the women's soccer matches. the international soccer matches and the acknowledgement that they were giving to Megan Rapinoe and what she had done for women's soccer as far as getting them a paycheck,
Yeah.
and then to see that Spain, came out on top this year, and the women in Spain, they're still battling for a little bit larger paycheck. And the other thing that was just like aha moment to me was, oh, the men had someone doing their laundry. The women were, doing their own uniforms. How many uniforms did the men have? If you've ever been on a soccer team where you had to wash your shorts the night before for the next game and they're white, it's not a one and done situation. and so just even, or women are expected to share their room, their motel room, and men are not, so I mean, but to me, that's not the key mission that we have, but it's certainly a part of it, and you think that, oh, we took care of that, 50 years ago, but on an international basis, American women have a lot more benefits and equality than in other nations. And here's another cute story. When our early years of Soroptimists, someone decided to collect bras, slightly used bras, and we packaged them up and sent them, and learning things like, in a country where women don't have bras, they're seen as having a lower status, a lower social status. So it enables them to get a job if they have the proper undergarments to wear.
There's so many.
Yeah.
I mean, the women that have periods they're not going to school. They may not be able to go to work. There's just so many, and we can go outside of our country, but even in our country, women are still not getting paid the same as men. Education seems to be, because they're the ones that are taking care of the kids. I see that changing. I definitely, especially when my son's generation, I see them watching the kids more than my husband helped me. So, things are changing. But when it comes to daycare and that kind of stuff, it's usually the woman that has to be responsible for getting that. And if you're a single mother, it's almost impossible. So those are some of the things that I see. Education is a big one of it. I had a list. I don't know where I put it, but of things. But yeah.
Are there any examples that you've seen specifically here in our community where maybe there's a story of a woman in particular that you guys have been able to help through? I know you guys have multiple different programs, but I'm sure there's those times where when you see a need and then you see that need met and you see a life transform. Mm-hmm. I'm sure those are really rewarding. Do you have any particular instances like that?
Yeah, we give out one of the things that we do on a global basis is our programs are called Dream Programs. And the one Dream program that we do is we give out an award out to a woman who's finishing their education that are head of households. So they could have a husband that's not working or disabled. They're supporting the family. And we've given out, this year we gave $6,000 to two of our recipients that live here in Newburgh to finish or work on their education. But the one gal that I'm going to talk about, I'm not going to name names because some of their stories are pretty hard to hear, and they're rough. And but this one gal came to us, and was a recipient of one of our scholar or awards. And she was so thankful because she was getting ready to quit school. She had 3 kids. She trying to get herself going. She wanted to be, I think, a counselor. Mm-hmm. And she made it through 2 years of PC college. Yeah, and then going to Portland State, and she had no money. And this came in at the nick of time. Otherwise, she might have quit college. She even said, I was getting ready to quit. And when this came in, it gave me hope. She had used up all her scholarship money in 2 years because she had a learning disability. Mm-hmm. So she had to repeat some classes. And so even though
she started with enough. It didn't last. And, and then in going to Portland State, she no longer had the complimentary laptop that was given at community college level. So how was, that sounds like, oh, that's only $300. But if you have no money, 300 seems like
and you're still putting 3 kids to school and feeding them and doing all that. But we were able to help her with a laptop too, and we've followed her her steps, her journey, and she is now a business owner here in Newburgh. So that is, she worked hard to get to that spot, but at least, and she's very thankful to Soroptimist and helps us out when we need somebody to, come in and maybe give a little boost to talk to her.
Then I guess maybe she's 55 in age now.
I wouldn't even go that way.
It's not like she's 32.
No, she was older when she started it. And we have lots. We have some that we've, one gal that worked for me when I worked here in Newburgh at the bank, and she took courses through the bank. She had a baby, decided to go on further to become a nurse, and won one of our, one's not the word, but was given and awarded for a mother who's had a household. And now she went to Linfield, got her nursing degree, and now is working as a, what do they call the baby doctor? It's not a baby doctor, but, maternity and delivery nurse. And just had another baby, got married. And so we lots of stories. We have one earlier in the our giving out of awards. It took us a while to get to that point where we could have enough money to give awards and scholarships too. We had another one that was almost getting ready to live in her car because she could not pay the rent, and that came in just the nick of time. And she, those are just little things, that mean a lot to people.
And usually what we hear often is that they just are so thrilled that somebody is willing to give them some financial aid, and that somebody must believe in them.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody, and that might be the first time in their life that somebody has created a feeling of value in a financial way. And so they often express those feelings that it was, that's what motivated them to figure out, how can I do this? How can I finish? Because these other women care enough about me to give me some money to get it done.
And as you can hear, that the award is not just for school, because you can get loans and you can get help in that sense. It's for paying the light bill. It's buying diapers. It's having a babysitter. It's getting tires on the car. There's so much more to this award than just, it's what keeps you going. It's what helps you get to that next level.
Yeah. And so that's why you call it an award, not a scholarship.
That's correct. And as you know, November 15th is the deadline. We'll be looking for recipients for the 2024 year. We'll pick them next year. So,
but they need to apply on 15th for November.
Yeah. So on our website, and we can give you that information. If you see a QR code on any of our papers, you should be able to go in there and look at that. So we're getting better.
The program Deb just talked about, Live Your Dream Award, is an international program.
Yep.
And so Soroptimist International encourages every club to offer that award if they can. The second component to the DREAM programs are for younger women, high school women, which is Dream It, Be It. And again, the title of that's pretty explanatory as far as helping young women think that they have a dream. And so we offer an annual career day, and we've been sponsored by PCC as far as them opening up their campus and a classroom. And we promote it through middle schools and high schools.
Family, friends.
However, and in Oregon, young men are eligible to come as well because it's equal education opportunity for female and male. We haven't had any take advantage of that yet, but it's a fabulous day because we talk about goal setting, we talk about dreams, we talk about managing stress, we talk about overcoming obstacles, and we ask each student when they register, what do they think they want their future career to be? And they list 3 things. And so we try to invite professionals from the Newburgh area that match those career choices. And they come and speak. Each one speaks for about 8 to 10 minutes and have lunch, box lunch with us and the students. And then the students can sit with them at lunch and direct their questions to these professionals. And Debbie will share her granddaughter's experience.
Yeah. Let's just put it this way. We're always looking for young girls to help. And Newburgh High School has been helpful. And prior to the pandemic, we've gotten a lot of our girls from there. My granddaughter was interested in going and learning, and one of our local dentists came because she wanted to be a dentist. She thought maybe that's what she wanted to do. So a local dentist came to our Dream It Be It, and she was able to sit with her and get some ideas on how to become a dentist. This dentist happened to go through the Air Force to get her career started, and so my granddaughter thought that might be what she wanted to do, but it didn't happen that way. So she's at the University of Oregon now. She'll be a junior.
With
Non-scholarship with the Oregon Promise Scholar. I think it's the Oregon Promise. It's one of those. And she's still planning on being a dentist. But I think the main thing for these girls is that you think life, because us parents are always saying, oh, you need to do something, all this. And you think it's just like go to college, get a job, and it's just straight line. And it's not. And you could tell them that, and they don't listen. But when you hear somebody that's in that program, that's a dentist or a nurse, or we had about 4 girls that wanted to be welders. Our last Dream It Be It. We found a Sherwood welding teacher came out and talked. We found a woman welder that Jackie knew from her business, but they learned that it isn't. It's a curve. You don't know. It's a journey. And I think that really surprises them that it's okay not to know what you really want to do. It's okay to have, some direction, but you may go a different direction. It's okay. So, and we have PCC come out and talk about different things that PCC offers. And that's kind of like, they all want to know, how do I get money? What do I need to do if I don't have money? And so PCC is very helpful in getting people information that they need. And that's it's not that, yes, it's scary, but it can happen. And so that's where the education comes in, because if you don't know, you don't try. So
here's another example. It just reminded me, Janet Bleck was a member. And so she spoke about the catering business.
Somebody was
into a restaurant and brought her business cards. And that was the other thing we recommend that the pros do is bring their contact information for follow-up. And Janet happened to say, if anyone's interested in a job, come see me before I go. So one young woman popped up and Janet hired her on the spot. And she went to work for Subterra and Road Gourmet. And when she finished her senior year of high school, she applied with University of Oregon and got a 4-year scholarship. And her goal was to pattern herself after the Blecks and have, two businesses, the restaurant and the catering business. She thought that was a very good model. And she was going to be the first in her family to attend college. So, to me, that was a very happy ending. And I think she's probably a senior this year, or maybe she graduated last year. But she learned a lot by getting her first job and having someone mentor her that could take her a little bit further, So that was exciting.
So when you think about the impact that even in Newburgh that we're doing, it's every every state that has a Soroptimist group are doing the same thing. That Dream It, Be It is a vision that they have. We are also, I don't know how to put this, involved with the United Nations on a global level. With these dream programs, they meet some of the criteria for their like 2030, trying to reduce or, no poverty, higher education or more education for women. And so some of these goals that are for our Dream It, Be It, our dream programs are part of what the United Nations are using and
statistics.
Yeah, to show and to see and to measure what countries are improving in that. And we kind of give them, what do they call it?
Annual report, of how many women we've helped and how many girls we've helped, what programs we're doing and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
just makes me feel good that it's just not one area, it's all over. And hopefully in 2030, we'll hit our goals.
We'll have up 500,000 women by that time. And so that breaks down with the number of clubs that are in action, that if each club could help 55 women a year, we would reach our goal.
Well, we got a ways to go, 15 this year. So, so we're a small club. We have about 15 members right now. So it's a small club, but with our annual fundraiser that's coming up October 14th, Soup's On. It's a very unique event. Hopefully we will raise more money to be able to get more scholarships or more awards out. We did tell you that we did 2 awards for the high school girls.
No, we did.
Yeah.
Financial. Those are actually scholarships.
Yeah.
And the way those operate is if a girl is awarded a scholarship, the money is sent to the college of their choice.
Yeah.
And then it's distributed to them after that. But you had asked me earlier, Daniel, what value do I have received from Soroptimist? Well, when I solicited Debbie to become a member, she was our banker. And she's no longer in banking. I'm no longer retired. And we're friends. We have become great friends.
Yeah.
And so to me, that is another benefit I did not expect. Because I'd been living in Westland for 29 years. I really didn't know women as friends in Newburgh, even though I'd worked here.
Grew up here.
And so there's something about in being working for a common goal that you become friends. So I love it.
Well, and something that I'm encouraged by, and I think my mindset is typically to try to focus on the positive, but you also can't ignore the issues that still need work. And so the encouragement is that there are organizations like Soroptimist who are doing so much to do its best for women and to improve the lives of women around the world.
Mm-hmm.
And yet there's still so much work to do. And it's kind of that story of the seashell. You got to focus on one at a time. You can't get bogged down with, wow, there's thousands of people who need help. Maybe we can only help with one. So how do you, what's your perspective on that? Maybe it is just that you just do one at a time, but.
Well, I think that as many places, COVID did not help that trajectory of helping more women and girls. So getting back into the saddle again, having the Dream It, Be It program, because it's been a few years since we've done anything, getting more girls involved in that program, maybe having it twice a year instead of once a year could be it. Then you come back to say, I need more members to do that. So there's a lot of things that we need to do. But I think just letting people know, just the community know that that's what we're looking, that we want to do is we want to help young girls. I think that there's things that we need to do, like we would love to have a member that is Hispanic speaking, because there's a lot of need there that we would like to help with. And it's hard to do that. We have the materials, but none of us speak Spanish. So, but we would love to be able to do more, and having somebody that could be involved with us that could help in that area would be awesome.
I was going to say we've started a couple of smaller programs, because we are a smaller club. We have a affiliation with Henderson House in McVinville, which services all of Yamhill County. And so, that's a safe area for women that are leaving usually an abusive relationship. And so we provided a lot of hygiene type kits, things that if women have left with nothing but their purse and their cell phone and their kids and their car, they're going to need, deodorant and toothpaste and socks and underwear for all those things we take for basics. We have a collaborative event a collaborative program with the McVinville Soroptimists. There is a new to you secondhand store in McVinville, and they call it, under their program, they call it Soropta Boutique. And if our club donates clothes to New to You, and McVinville Club donates clothes to New to You, if there are women that are job ready, they're maybe needing an outfit for an interview, or they've gone through a fire, or they're getting a new job and they don't have 5 days worth of professional clothing, they can apply to Soroptimist for a clothing voucher. And we can award them a voucher that's valued at $100 that they can spend over at New to You, and they can pick out the clothing. So I'm not sure if that was, I kind of took that as the question you were answering. Are there other programs that we do? And it's each club can find those things that work for their community or that is a need in their community.
Yeah, no, that's actually really helpful. My question was more perspective, but it is always good to hear the other things going on because, just like you're talking about, and I guess kind of what I said is there is a lot more work to be done. And what you're talking about is it's one step at a time. And you said you have 15 members right now? Okay. And how many members would you like to have ideally? I don't know.
20,000. Yeah. I think that we would like to have members that are, we need specifics. Like Jackie is really good at our fundraising. I guess if people don't realize, we started out selling local jams and jellies,
which are really good. Do you guys still do that?
Yes, we do. And things have changed, as we all know. Things have changed, so we've had to go a little broader than just Yamhill County. But we sell spices and rubs, and we try to do local as much as we can.
Hazelnuts.
Melcher Farms. We're always looking for new ideas. People love that when we go to our bazaars and different places. We do Jackie does a lot of sewing. That was what she went to college for. She home economics.
That's my
and so she sews, and we have lots of beautiful sewing things that we do
for the home.
For the home. So we need people that can do marketing, that know how to do just like what we're doing here, to put it on the Facebook and get information out. We need none of us, as you see, I'm copy and pasting, I'm writing here. A lot of us are older in this group, and we don't have the same skill set that younger women have, or like Deb was saying, it would be awesome to have a Hispanic member that could translate, because many of the young women that come to us, their parents might not speak English. And so how can they go home and explain, Mom, I'd like to go to a career class. I need your signature here. Yeah.
And so we need diversity within our club as far as the skill sets and ideas, fresh ideas.
Right. Exactly.
Continued energy. And so we, welcome anyone that, has a heart to give their time. Yeah, their talent. And we don't say you have to be a professional in real estate in order to join. It's not like that.
Mm-hmm.
And at one time, it was Soroptimist had different job classifications for membership, and that's gone by the wayside.
Yeah. When do you guys typically meet as a group?
We meet at First Federal the first Thursday and third Thursday of the month at 6:00. And one's usually a business meeting, one's a board meeting.
Okay.
So right now we're on a kind of a hiatus, which is really silly when we have a big fundraiser coming up in October. But so check our website, but probably September 1st is when we'll start up again on meeting. But we meet at First Federal Community Room.
You said first and third Thursdays at 6 p.m.
Mm-hmm. Not in the morning. We're retired, so we're not an early bird club. Sorry. And we still have a lot of ladies working, but we have a lot of retired ladies too, and a lot of women that have children. It makes it difficult. We've had, it's just, but we're, anybody that's interested coming, and just come on down, and you can let me know that you're going to be there, and we'll give you our information so that we can, our email address and our website.
And I can have those things linked in the description to like the website, that kind of thing. As far as the cost, what does it cost to be a member per year?
$150 a year.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, it's not like Rotary.
Well, our club brings snacks in the evening, and some clubs have a luncheon, a weekly luncheon or a weekly dinner, and we have not done that. So it's the membership fee. A portion of it stays with our club for administrative kinds of things, and a portion goes to the Soroptimist headquarters for all of the communication and programs, and they build for us and put together. And also it covers some liability insurance for us, so that when we have an event, we don't have to procure special insurance. So,
yeah. I mean, that's pretty reasonable, the cost and time. I think there's a lot of women who, if they knew about it and knew what it was all about and stood for it, would want to join. So everyone can get some more people.
Yeah.
And does it?
And if
I know
people have their employers, people are willing to invest in an employee that's doing community service. So that's another very viable option that we've seen happen over the years.
Yeah. And now you mentioned earlier different ways you do fundraising. So have you talked about your soups on?
We have not enough.
Okay, not enough.
Go, Debbie.
Go. That is my favorite part. Well, actually, Jackie came up with this idea. She had a book called, I don't remember, it was some book about soups and how communities would have these soup nights.
Yeah.
And so I said, well, let's do it. Let's just do it. Everybody's kind of, we don't know. This is our first big fundraiser. We don't know. So let's do it. So we decide what we do. What Soup's On, if you don't know, is that we get about 6 pro chefs from Yamhill County, wherever we can get them, to donate 6 quarts of soup of their choice to our event. And then we have about 6 home chefs. So your mom, your daughter, whoever wants to, grandma, whoever has the best soup. And they compete. And so people buy tickets. They're $45 at the door, $40 if you buy them by, I think it's September 30th. We give you an early bird, and then your little ticket goes into a beautiful door prize. And so you might win one of her wonderful runners and a soup. Yeah. So that's kind of the premises of Soup's On is pro chefs and home chefs competing. We have judges. I'll see a lot of we've had the mayor of McMinnville, Dundee, Yamhill, of Newburgh. We've had Miss Oregon or something one time, I think, judged. We had Taste of Newburgh. Lee Jensen came out and did a judging. So we have a judge's choice, and then we have the people's choice. And the people's choice is, you get to taste 12 soups under 3 ounces, because we've got rules we have to follow. Sample size. But how many times have you sampled 3 ounces? That's a lot
different. 3 ounces.
That's a lot of soup. We have bread, salad, dessert. We do appetizers. I mean, this is a lot, a lot of good stuff for $40 for a fun night. We have auction baskets. You could get
Usually guest speakers, whether any testimonials from prior winners, or it may be something a little tougher, like trafficking awareness. Yeah, like the trafficking awareness. We don't do that every year, but like you say, if we have a particular cause that we want to highlight, then we take the opportunity of a guest speaker. Mm-hmm. So it's a fun evening.
Yeah, a paddle race.
But during the voting, the people that are voting have no idea who made what soup. It's kept confidential, and so that they don't automatically think, oh, that's a nice restaurant, their soup must be good, I'm going to vote for it. It's more, so more often than not.
Well, as we were talking earlier, he had mentioned and I said, oh, one of our winners many times as a home chef. She has won many times. So and she'll let you know. But we had last year, unfortunately, Field and Stream. They were in Dundee, won last year, but they're no longer around. But we've had, we just have a fun time with it. And the soups are all great. And it's just, with wine and beer you can buy, and
it's more of a casual evening. It's not a
black tie. No, come as you are, enjoy.
So, we have a lot of fun with it,
and we raise a good sum of money that we're able to use on and give more scholarships and awards. And we did this year. We have one more scholarship that we're working on, and that's the Martine Black scholarship for hospitality, culinary,
the things that he brought to our community, and so we're still fine tuning that scholarship. We put it out there this spring, and we did not receive applications for it, so we're kind of looking at it, and then we're also realizing that Newburgh High School's culinary program was kind of on hold for the year because of the rebuilding of that one section of the school, which included the culinary school, and Sherwood has a culinary program, and so does McVinville, and but so does Chemeketa. So we may broaden our territory and enlarge our area because we want to honor what the Blecks did in Newburgh, and they had provided spices at wholesale that our club sold for many years, and so it meant a lot to us to have that. Supported us a lot, and I think they're what they started is still being carried on, and so we're looking forward to being able to give that scholarship.
And other things we do is Lavender Festival. We have our goods at the Lavender Festival. We'll be at a couple of the Christmas bazaars with our jams and jellies and different things that we have. And so those are the ways that we fundraise.
Yeah. So I know we're coming a bit to the end of our time here, and given your time with Soroptimist and the work that you've seen done, what gives you hope for the future of Newburgh? And I would say specifically as it relates to women and young women in particular.
Well, Debbie mentioned her granddaughter participating in the program. My granddaughter is just turning 8, and she comes to Soups On.
She helps us.
And she helps. And we ask young adults that are needing community service to come in and help serve appetizers or help clean up. We see that as just those small little steps that young people can take that they don't really understand are going to help them down the road. But we have talked to our Dream It, Be It girls about starting their list of what they have done in community service now, 9th grade, 10th grade, and it builds, because I said, that's what the schools are looking at, is your total personality and what you have to offer. It's not always your 4+. I'm going, what is 4+? So those are things that we see. One of our Dream It Be It gals came to Lavender Festival and worked 2 4-hour sessions all day on Saturday. How many teenagers are at a booth helping you sell your product? And so she helped us promote our stone mixes, and she helped us promote the program that she'd been involved in. And so to us, and for me, I think that's encouraging, is to see those small steps that they're taking towards the big picture, and they're understanding community service. I didn't understand that. I got in Monopoly. What is community service ticket? I didn't know. And so to me, I think, as you work together, that you see the healing and the relationship building. Like I felt, that Debbie and I have formed a friendship, and we've seen friendships fall apart in the past few years because of diverse thoughts, And so to me, a service community and service clubs are one fabulous way to rebuild that. And you learn to have healthy discussions in your club meetings, because we're all different. None of us, see things the same way, but you learn more about compromise and saying, well, I guess I don't have to have my own way all the time.
Yeah.
Never happens to you, does it? And so I just think there's value at any age and in being a club member in a community, and you get to learn more about the needs of the community.
We're still learning that too. I feel we haven't dug enough down deep to really help some people that really need help, because they're sometimes hard to find, and they're not always willing. So that's where membership is important, to get people from different walks of life to help, because I know there's people out there that we could help even more. We can fundraise all we want, but we got to spend the money. And that's what, if we don't have anybody that's filling out the applications or coming to us, that fit the need that because there's so many nonprofits out there, they all have a different way of looking at things, but if they fit our need, we want to help them, but we just don't always get.
Yeah, and with your Dream Award, some years we have not had applicants in the community, and so at that point, Soroptimist International will usually share other women's names that may live, that don't live within 75 miles of a club. And so we may get a name, and then our club has to decide, do we want to give our money outside of the community? And so that is a good discussion too.
Yeah, well, that's still worse to do. Or save it till next year.
We have 2 or 3, or up the amount,
right?
So if people think they're not qualified to receive, it's just 3 simple things. A woman that's head of household, which means she is the primary wage earner and still has a child at home, and is also enrolled in some type of educational program. It may be more of a trades program, or it may be an online program. It isn't restricted to a 4-year university or a 2-year junior college. So,
yeah. Basically, just tell everybody to come to our website. Soup's on October 14th at 6:00, and you could hear some wonderful stories about some of our recipients.
Yeah. Well, I want to hear your answer specifically. What gives you hope for the future for young women here?
Well, I would hope that they know that there are communities behind them, because I think that's really important, and that's kind of what Soroptimist is about, and what most nonprofits are, is that the community is here not just because of us, but because we want to help people, and they need to know that we're here to help them. And I don't know.
And I think that you never know, you're not exclusive to having a an unfortunate situation.
Yeah.
This weekend, we had a garage sale at my house through the Kelly group. And a gentleman said to me, "Oh, I downsized in a week." And I looked at him and I thought, well, you're a miracle worker. And then I looked a little closer and I said, "Are you from Lahaina?" And he said, "Yes." He said, "I lost everything in a week." And, your heart, there's a lot of people who need, that are in that situation. And so we may get a call from our Soroptimist headquarters saying, "Do you have any extra funds you could send to Lahaina and the women there?" So, and because it is an international affair, there's probably clubs in Hawaii that could help.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I got it.
Well, no, I appreciate both, your time and what you shared today, because I think it is important, the work that's being done.
Mm-hmm.
And Soroptimist is doing a lot of work to benefit young girls here. And yes, there may be some ways that other community members who can step up and say, "Hey, I can help with marketing, I can help get the word out."
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what we need, is for people to, all of us working together to say, every nonprofit has their own mission, but still we're working together to say, "Hey, how can we look out for other members in our community?" So I want to say thank you to both of you personally for what you've done. It's an important work to be taking care of our women and girls here. And I look forward to seeing the work continue.
Yeah. Well, thank you. We have a gift for you, too.
Oh,
Yeah. Deb talked about products, and we hope that you like to grill, because Dinner's Kitchen is in Southern Oregon, Medford Talent area. So all of their products are infused with some deliciousness.
Yes. The Cabernet and apple barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
Well, I know what I can do with that. Just bring it to my dad and say, "Make me a good steak."
And then they also produce rubs. And so this one is a Pinot Noir rub. And they collaborated with Willamette Valley Vineyards for some recipes. And we caught hold of that and are sharing that with you, because you are investing in us. We're investing in you. So, yeah. So have fun with that, boy. Is that my purple? I don't want it. My granddaughter gave me this beautiful sticker.
Thankfully it didn't break. Well, thank you both so much, and look forward to getting this word out to the community, and keep doing good work.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in to the Givingtown podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider sharing it with a friend who you think might benefit from hearing it. While more and more people are continuing to hear about this podcast, I still need your help to spread the message about all the people and organizations that make Newburgh so great. Well, thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next episode.